Sarah had always been an adventurous soul, seeking excitement in the great outdoors. When her friend John invited her to join a camping trip to Blackwood Forest, she eagerly accepted. Blackwood was known for its rugged beauty and a reputation for being a remote and mysterious wilderness. As they drove deeper into the forest, the towering trees seemed to close in around them. The canopy was so dense that sunlight barely penetrated, casting eerie shadows on the path ahead. It was an environment that was both enchanting and ominous, a perfect setting for an unforgettable camping experience. Sarah and John set up their camp near a picturesque, moonlit stream. They had chosen the spot for its tranquility and breathtaking scenery, but as night fell, the forest seemed to come alive with strange sounds and movements. Sarah brushed off her unease, attributing the rustling leaves and distant howls to the usual forest inhabitants. Little did she know that something more sinister lurked among the trees. As the night wore on, strange phenomena began to unfold. The campfire flickered, casting dancing shadows on the trees that seemed to take on grotesque forms. Unseen hands tugged at the corners of their tent, and eerie whispers seemed to emanate from the forest. The atmosphere grew increasingly oppressive, and Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. John tried to reassure her, attributing the strange occurrences to the wild imagination of the wilderness. In the heart of the night, the campfire suddenly extinguished itself. Sarah and John were plunged into utter darkness. The forest's sounds grew more menacing, and a cold, damp mist seemed to crawl through the campsite. As they fumbled for their flashlights, they heard a distant, mournful cry that sent shivers down their spines. It was a sound that neither of them could identify, an eerie and unsettling wail that seemed to come from all directions. Panic gripped Sarah when she realized that John was no longer beside her. She called out his name, but her voice seemed swallowed by the oppressive darkness. She groped through the trees, searching for any sign of her friend. In the distance, she saw a faint glimmer of light, and she followed it. To her horror, she found John's flashlight abandoned on the forest floor, its beam pointed upward. The light pierced the trees, but John was nowhere to be seen. Sarah's heart pounded as she realized that her friend had vanished without a trace, leaving her alone in the heart of the haunting Blackwood Forest. As Sarah frantically searched for any sign of John, the forest seemed to come alive with unseen threats. She heard whispers that were both menacing and alluring, promising answers to the mystery, but also warning her to turn back. The trees seemed to reach out with gnarled branches, and shadows moved in the periphery of her vision. Sarah understood that she was no longer alone, that something malevolent lurked in the darkness, watching her every move. As Sarah ventured deeper into the forest, she encountered a phenomenon that defied explanation. Eerie lights danced among the trees, their colors shifting from pale blue to crimson. They seemed to move with a purpose, leading her further into the heart of the forest. The lights beckoned her with an otherworldly allure, and despite her fear, Sarah felt compelled to follow them. They led her to a clearing where a gnarled tree stood. At its base, she found strange symbols etched into the earth, as if they were part of an ancient ritual. As Sarah approached the symbols, the whispers in the forest grew louder and more coherent. They spoke of a dark history that had plagued Blackwood for centuries, of a malevolent presence that sought to trap souls in the depths of the forest. The symbols were part of an ancient ritual, one that bound the forest to a malevolent force. Sarah realized that the eerie lights were manifestations of trapped souls, beckoning her to help break the curse and free them. With a sense of dread and determination, Sarah embarked on a quest to unravel the curse that had tormented Blackwood for generations. The forest's secrets were hidden in the symbols and the enigmatic lights, and she knew that she had to confront the malevolent force to save her friend and herself. The curse's history revealed a tale of betrayal and dark magic, of a pact made with a malevolent entity in exchange for power and immortality. The entity had claimed the souls of those who had entered Blackwood, trapping them within its grasp for eternity. As Sarah delved deeper into the forest's secrets, She realized that the malevolent entity would stop at nothing to maintain its hold on Blackwood. Her quest had become a battle for survival against a force that had plagued the forest for centuries. Sarah's quest led her to an ancient and twisted tree, which appeared to be at the heart of the malevolent force that plagued Blackwood Forest. It emanated an overwhelming aura of darkness and malevolence, and its gnarled roots reached deep into the earth, tapping into the very essence of the curse. As she approached the tree, Sarah felt the malevolent entity's presence closing in on her. Shadows coalesced around her, and the whispers grew louder, threatening to overwhelm her with despair. Sarah knew she had to confront the malevolent entity head-on. She reached deep within herself, drawing upon her courage and determination, and began to recite the ancient incantation that would break the curse. The malevolent entity fought back, using the shadows to manifest its own twisted and nightmarish forms. It hurled Sarah into illusions of her deepest fears and regrets, attempting to weaken her resolve. But Sarah's determination was unbreakable. With each verse of the incantation, she pushed back against the malevolent force, her voice and willpower steadily gaining strength. In a final climactic confrontation, Sarah completed the incantation, and the malevolent entity let out an anguished, otherworldly scream. The ground trembled, and the gnarled tree at the center of the forest shattered, its roots withering away. With a blinding burst of light, the malevolent force was banished, vanquished by the power of Sarah's determination and the ancient incantation. The forest seemed to sigh with relief, and a quiet calm settled over Blackwood. Sarah, her heart heavy with worry, rushed to find her friend John. She retraced her steps, following the eerie lights that had led her deeper into the forest. They guided her to a clearing where John was found, unconscious and shivering. As John awoke, he had no memory of what had transpired in the forest. Sarah recounted her harrowing experiences and the battle against the malevolent entity. John could hardly believe the supernatural events that had taken place. Together, Sarah and John left Blackwood Forest behind, no longer haunted by the malevolent force that had tormented them. The curse that had plagued the forest for centuries had been broken, and the town could finally find peace. The eerie lights that had once beckoned them had transformed into ethereal orbs, rising into the night sky. It was as if the trapped souls had found their release, ascending into the afterlife, their gratitude visible in the spectral display. As they emerged from Blackwood Forest, Sarah and John knew that their lives had been forever changed by their nightmarish camping experience. They understood that the supernatural world was not confined to the realm of legends and myths. Blackwood Forest remained an enigmatic and haunted place, but it no longer held the malevolent force that had terrorized it for centuries. The curse had been broken, and the forest had returned to its natural, albeit eerie, beauty. Sarah and John's friendship had been forged in the crucible of terror, and they would carry the memories of their ordeal with them throughout their lives. They knew that the malevolent entity had been vanquished, but they also recognized that the supernatural world held mysteries yet to be uncovered. As they left Blackwood Forest behind, they knew that their bond and their shared experience had given them a unique perspective on the world of the supernatural, one that would shape their destinies in ways they could never have imagined. Despite the malevolent entity's defeat and their escape from Blackwood Forest, Sarah and John couldn't escape the nagging feeling that they had left behind unanswered questions. What had the entity truly been? What had drawn it to Blackwood? Were there more secrets hidden in the depths of the forest? Over the following weeks, they found themselves haunted by the memories of their camping trip, their nights filled with restless sleep and unsettling dreams. Sarah became obsessed with understanding the supernatural world, while John grappled with the lingering sense of dread that clung to him. Driven by their experiences, Sarah and John decided to embark on a journey to unravel the mysteries of the supernatural. They became amateur paranormal investigators, visiting haunted locations, conducting seances, and delving into the world of the unexplained. Their quest led them to encounters with restless spirits, strange apparitions, and eerie phenomena. The supernatural world revealed itself to them in increasingly unsettling ways, leaving them both fascinated and terrified. One fateful night, as Sarah and John were investigating a notoriously haunted mansion, they encountered a presence that was all too familiar. The malevolent entity, which they had thought banished from their lives, returned with a vengeance. It seemed that the entity had not been defeated entirely, but had merely been weakened. Its return was marked by sinister occurrences, objects moving of their own accord, chilling voices in the dead of night, and strange symbols etched on the walls. Sarah and John realized that they were once again entangled in a battle with the malevolent entity, which had grown more powerful and vengeful. The entity seemed to have a relentless grip on their lives, and they felt trapped in a never-ending nightmare. Desperate for help, they sought the guidance of experts in the paranormal world. Through seances and consultations with mediums, they learned of a way to confront the malevolent entity once and for all, a dangerous and ancient ritual that would take them to the very heart of the supernatural world. With the guidance of their newfound allies in the paranormal realm, Sarah and John embarked on a treacherous journey to face the malevolent entity in the supernatural plane. The ritual required them to venture into a realm of darkness and uncertainty, where the entity's power was at its strongest. They confronted the malevolent force in a final epic battle. The entity, now revealed in its full, terrifying form, hurled them into nightmarish illusions and nightmarish landscapes. But Sarah and John drew upon their shared experiences and unbreakable bond to resist the entity's manipulations. In the supernatural plane, Sarah and John discovered the entity's vulnerability, a shard of obsidian that held the source of its power. With a tremendous effort, they managed to shatter the shard, causing the malevolent entity to wail in agony. As the entity's power disintegrated, the supernatural plane crumbled around them. Sarah and John were consumed by an otherworldly light and transported back to the real world. The malevolent entity was vanquished once and for all. The supernatural world had been cleansed of its malevolence, and the haunting that had plagued Sarah and John's lives was over. But the experience had changed them irreversibly. They were forever marked by their encounters with the supernatural, and they understood that the world held mysteries that could never be fully explained. Sarah and John continued their paranormal investigations, now with a deeper understanding of the supernatural realm. Their quest for answers would lead them to encounters with otherworldly beings, haunted places, and unexplained phenomena, as they delved further into the unknown. The nightmare of Blackwood Forest had come to an end, but their journey into the world of the supernatural had only just begun. Sarah and John's continued investigations into the supernatural world led them to a haunted mansion known as Ravenscroft Manor. The mansion had a sinister reputation, with a history of unexplained deaths and strange occurrences. As they explored the mansion's dark and decaying rooms, they discovered a hidden diary that once belonged to the mansion's original owner, a man named Nathaniel Ravenscroft. The diary detailed his obsession with dark magic and a malevolent entity that had promised him power and immortality in exchange for terrible deeds. The revelation sent shivers down their spines, as it became clear that the malevolent entity they had encountered was not unique to Blackwood Forest. It had a long history of influencing people to perform dark deeds and had left a trail of suffering in its wake. Shortly after their discovery at Ravenscroft Manor, the malevolent entity returned, even more vengeful and determined. It seemed that their investigation had uncovered secrets that the entity did not want revealed. The haunting began anew, with Sarah and John experiencing increasingly terrifying phenomena. Apparitions of Nathaniel Ravenscroft and other tormented souls appeared, and the very walls of the mansion seemed to close in on them. Sarah and John realized that their encounters with the malevolent entity were not coincidental but part of a larger pattern. They needed to delve deeper into its history and discover a way to permanently banish it. Their quest led them to a reclusive historian with expertise in the supernatural. He revealed that the malevolent entity was known as the Shadow Lurker, an ancient and malevolent force that preyed on those who sought forbidden power and knowledge. The historian explained that the only way to defeat the shadow lurker was to uncover its true name and recite a binding ritual, sending it back to the supernatural plane from which it had originated. Armed with this knowledge, Sarah and John returned to Ravenscroft Manor to confront the shadow lurker. The malevolent entity attempted to use their deepest fears and regrets against them, but they remained resolute. As they stood before the entity, they recited the binding ritual, demanding its true name. The shadow lurker howled in agony as it revealed its name: Azael. With the power of the ritual, they bound Azael and sent it back to the supernatural plane from which it had come. With the shadow lurker banished, Ravenscroft Manor's curse was broken. The malevolent presence that had plagued the mansion for centuries dissipated, and the tormented souls found peace. Sarah and John left the mansion behind, their investigations having brought closure to the haunting. They understood that the supernatural world held many mysteries, but they had managed to free another place from the malevolent forces that sought to bind it. Sarah and John continued their paranormal investigations, now with a better understanding of the malevolent forces that lurked in the supernatural realm. Their experiences had only deepened their fascination and their determination to uncover the unknown. They knew that the world was full of enigmas and secrets, and they were willing to confront the darkest of forces to seek the truth. Their journey into the supernatural would lead them to encounters with otherworldly beings, haunted places, and unexplained phenomena, as they delved further into the unknown. The nightmare of the shadow lurker had come to an end, but their journey into the world of the supernatural had only just begun. In the quaint town of Ravenswood, Halloween was more than just a night of trick-or-treating. It was a night of legends and mysteries. This year, a cursed costume found its way into the hands of a young girl named Lily, setting off a chain of terrifying events that would haunt Ravenswood for generations. As Lily wore the cursed costume, a ghostly masquerade gown, strange occurrences plagued Ravenswood. Shadows danced at the edges of vision, and eerie whispers filled the night air. Unbeknownst to Lily, she had unleashed a vengeful spirit tied to the gown. The vengeful spirit, known as the Lady of Shadows, appeared to Lily, seeking revenge for a centuries-old betrayal. The Lady of Shadows unleashed a horde of ghostly apparitions upon Ravenswood, terrorizing its residents and feeding on their fear. Lily, desperate to stop the haunting, followed the Lady of Shadows to an abandoned mansion on the outskirts of town. Within its walls, she discovered a dark ritual chamber where the Lady of Shadows drew her power. Lily realized she needed to unravel the mansion's secrets to break the curse. In her research, Lily uncovered an ancient pact made by the town's founders and the Lady of Shadows. The founders had betrayed the vengeful spirit, leading to her curse. Lily realized that to end the haunting, she had to honor the pact and fulfill its terms, no matter how ominous they seemed. Under the light of the full moon, Lily performed the moonlit ritual, a ceremony meant to honor the pact and appease the Lady of Shadows. The ritual required great courage, as Lily faced a horde of vengeful spirits and the lady herself, who tested Lily's resolve. During the moonlit ritual, Lily inadvertently tore a hole in the veil between the worlds, allowing malevolent entities to seep into Ravenswood. The town was now plagued not only by the Lady of Shadows, but also by a horde of other supernatural beings hungry for souls. Ravenswood's elders revealed themselves as the guardians, tasked with protecting the town from supernatural threats. They aided Lily in her quest, imparting ancient knowledge and powerful artifacts to help her battle the malevolent entities that now roamed the town. A massive battle erupted between the guardians, Lily, and the malevolent entities. The town's streets were filled with supernatural clashes as light magic clashed with darkness. The fate of Ravenswood hung in the balance as the battle raged on. In a moment of selflessness, one of the guardians sacrificed themselves to seal the tear between worlds. Their sacrifice created a powerful barrier that kept the malevolent entities at bay, but the cost was great, and Ravenswood mourned the loss of a hero. As the dust settled, Ravenswood's secrets began to unravel. Lily and the Guardians discovered a hidden chamber beneath the town, where the Founder's betrayal had taken place. Within, they found ancient texts revealing the true nature of the Lady of Shadows and the curse that bound her. To break the curse and end the Lady of Shadows' wrath, Lily embarked on a quest to right the Founder's wrongs. She traveled to sacred sites and performed rituals, seeking redemption for the sins of the past. Along the way, she faced challenges that tested her resolve. In the heart of a haunted forest, Lily faced the trial of shadows, a series of tests designed to measure her courage and determination. With the guidance of the Guardians, she navigated the treacherous trials, proving herself worthy of facing the Lady of Shadows. During the trial of shadows, Lily encountered the Lady of Shadows in a moment of vulnerability. The vengeful spirit revealed her tragic past and the betrayal that had bound her to Ravenswood. Lily's compassion stirred a flicker of humanity within the lady, hinting at the possibility of redemption. On another moonlit night, Lily and the Lady of Shadows reunited in the haunted mansion. The lady confessed her sins and the pain she had endured for centuries. Touched by Lily's empathy, the lady agreed to help her break the curse. But a daunting task lay ahead. Under the light of a rare celestial event, Lily and the Lady of Shadows performed the ritual of forgiveness. The ritual required forgiveness from the town's descendants, acknowledging the Founder's betrayal and expressing genuine remorse. Ravenswood's residents, guided by the Guardians, participated in the ritual, their sincerity breaking the curse's hold. As forgiveness washed over Ravenswood, the Lady of Shadows began to transform. Her vengeful spirit softened, and she embraced the light. In a burst of ethereal energy, she redeemed her soul, breaking the curse that had bound her for centuries. The town was finally free from her wrath. With the curse lifted, the Lady of Shadows bid farewell to Ravenswood. Her departure was bittersweet, as the town had become her home in a way. She left behind a message of hope, reminding the residents of the power of forgiveness and the strength found in unity. In the wake of the Lady of Shadows' departure, new guardians were chosen from Ravenswood's brave and compassionate residents. They took up the mantle, ensuring that the town would always have protectors against supernatural threats. Ravenswood celebrated its newfound freedom with the Festival of Light, a joyous event that honored forgiveness, unity, and the triumph of good over evil. The festival became an annual tradition, reminding future generations of the town's resilience. Years passed, and Ravenswood thrived, but echoes of the past lingered. Every Halloween, faint whispers and shadowy figures reminded the town's residents of the horrors they had faced. Yet these reminders served as a testament to their strength and the bonds that held them together. On a particularly ominous Halloween night, the shadows stirred once more. Ravenswood's residents felt a familiar chill in the air, and the Guardians sensed an unsettling presence. It became clear that the battle was not over, and a new generation would face the challenges of the supernatural. A dark prophecy surfaced, foretelling of a powerful entity's return to Ravenswood. The entity, hungry for revenge, sought to plunge the town into eternal darkness. The Guardians and their new allies deciphered the prophecy, preparing for the impending threat. To thwart the dark prophecy, the Guardians and their allies performed the Midnight Ritual, a complex ceremony meant to strengthen the town's protective wards. The ritual required precise timing and unwavering focus, as the town's safety depended on their success. As the Midnight Ritual commenced, the vengeful entity descended upon Ravenswood, its wrath palpable. It unleashed a horde of malevolent spirits, testing the Guardians' resolve and challenging the town's defenses. The battle was fierce, but Ravenswood stood its ground. During the battle, the Guardians discovered the Heart of Darkness, a cursed artifact that fueled the vengeful entity's power. Realizing that destroying the artifact was the key to victory, they embarked on a perilous journey to locate it, braving haunted landscapes and treacherous traps. The Guardians ventured deep into the abyssal caverns, a labyrinthine network of caves where the heart of darkness was rumored to be hidden. The caverns were riddled with ancient traps and guarded by monstrous creatures, testing the guardian's skills and resourcefulness. In the heart of the abyssal caverns, the guardians faced the ultimate challenge, an ethereal guardian tasked with protecting the heart of darkness. In a heartbreaking sacrifice, one of the guardians gave their life to defeat the guardian, allowing the others to seize the artifact. Armed with the artifact, the guardians returned to Ravenswood for the final confrontation. The vengeful entity, enraged by the loss of the heart of darkness, launched a devastating assault on the town. The guardians, aided by the artifact's power, fought bravely, refusing to yield to the darkness. In a climactic moment, the guardians harnessed the artifact's power, channeling it into a blinding surge of light. The light engulfed the vengeful entity, purging its darkness and banishing it from Ravenswood. The town was saved, but the cost of victory weighed heavily on the guardians' hearts. With the vengeful entity defeated, the guardians mourned their fallen comrade and celebrated their victory. The fallen guardian's sacrifice became a beacon of hope, inspiring future generations to stand against the forces of darkness and protect Ravenswood with unwavering courage. In the aftermath of the battle, Ravenswood slowly returned to normalcy. The shadows that had plagued the town began to fade, and the air was once again filled with the sounds of laughter and joy. The guardians, though scared by their experiences, remained vigilant, knowing that the darkness would always seek to return. Years later, on an eclipsed moon, a new threat loomed on the horizon. The guardians sensed a disturbance in the town's protective wards, signaling the arrival of a formidable adversary. As the eclipse cast an eerie shadow over Ravenswood, the guardians prepared for the next battle, their determination unwavering. The new threat awakened ancient spirits and malevolent entities, drawing them to Ravenswood like moths to a flame. The town's protective wards flickered under the onslaught, and the guardians knew that they faced a challenge unlike any before. And so, the eternal vigil of Ravenswood continued. The guardians stood united, ready to face whatever supernatural forces dared to threaten their town. As long as the bonds of friendship and courage held strong, Ravenswood would remain a beacon of light in the face of darkness, its residents ready to confront the shadows with unwavering resolve. With the arrival of the new threat, ancient prophecies resurfaced, revealing cryptic verses about an otherworldly entity seeking vengeance. The guardians delved into the town's archives, deciphering the prophecies and learning of a forgotten artifact, the Key of Shadows, said to have the power to banish the entity. The guardians embarked on a perilous quest to find the Key of Shadows. Guided by the prophecies, they journeyed through enchanted forests, crossed raging rivers, and deciphered riddles left by ancient beings. Along the way, they encountered allies and adversaries, testing their wit and bravery. To prove their worthiness to wield the Key of Shadows, the guardians faced the trials of elements, a series of challenges representing earth, water, fire, and air. Each guardian confronted their deepest fears and doubts, emerging stronger and more attuned to the elemental forces they represented. Following the prophecies, the guardians discovered a lost city buried beneath the sands of time. In its heart, they found the Chamber of Echoes, a place imbued with ancient magic. Within the chamber, they unlocked forgotten wisdom, learning the secrets of the Key of Shadows and its connection to the entity. As the guardians neared their goal, a shocking betrayal shook their ranks. One of their own, tempted by the entity's promises of power, turned against them, stealing crucial information about the Key of Shadows. The guardians faced a race against time to prevent the entity's resurrection. The traitorous guardian led the entity to the Veil of Illusions, a mystical barrier protecting Ravenswood from supernatural threats. With the stolen knowledge, the entity weakened the veil, allowing dark illusions and malevolent spirits to seep into the town. The guardians fought valiantly, but the entity's power grew stronger. In a surprising turn, the traitorous guardian experienced a crisis of conscience. Torn between loyalty and redemption, they embarked on a personal journey, seeking ancient wisdom from reclusive mystics. The Guardian faced trials that tested their commitment to Ravenswood and their resolve to undo the harm they had caused. After a grueling journey, the traitorous Guardian returned, wielding newfound wisdom and remorse. They presented the Guardians with a plan to reinforce the Veil of Illusions, strengthening it with the combined power of unity and redemption. Together, they performed a complex ritual, fortifying the veil and pushing back the entity's influence. With the Veil of Illusions reinforced, the Key of Shadows began to resonate with ancient energy. Its glow intensified, signaling the Guardians that their quest was nearing its end. The Guardians, now reunited, followed the Key's ethereal trail, guided by its luminescence. The Guardians and the traitorous Guardian confronted the entity in a climactic battle. Dark tendrils lashed out, and the very air crackled with malevolence. The traitorous Guardian, fueled by redemption, stood at the forefront, channeling the combined strength of all Guardians to weaken the entity's defenses. In a moment of unity, the Guardians channeled their essence into the Key of Shadows, unleashing blinding light that enveloped the entity. The light pierced through the darkness, purging the entity's malevolence and reducing it to a mere wisp of its former self. The town of Ravenswood was saved once again. As the entity weakened, it revealed its tragic origins, a spirit consumed by grief and despair, seeking revenge for a long-forgotten betrayal. The Guardians, now filled with empathy, offered the entity a chance at peace, helping it find closure and guiding its spirit to the afterlife. With the entity vanquished, the Guardians and the traitorous Guardian reinforced the Veil of Illusions further. They incorporated the entity's redeemed essence into the veil, transforming it into a veil of harmony, which not only protected Ravenswood, but also radiated tranquility, fostering a sense of unity among its residents. In a solemn ceremony, the traitorous Guardian reaffirmed their oath of loyalty to Ravenswood. Their redemption journey had come full circle, and they vowed to protect the town at all costs, ensuring that the lessons learned from their past mistakes would guide their actions in the future. With the entity's threat finally ended, Ravenswood basked in a newfound peace. The Guardians, now bound by unbreakable bonds of trust and redemption, stood as eternal protectors, ready to face any challenges that might arise. The town celebrated their victory, knowing that as long as unity, courage, and redemption prevailed, Ravenswood would always triumph over the shadows. And so, the tale of Ravenswood became a legend, inspiring generations with the story of how unity and compassion had saved their town from the brink of darkness, reminding them that even in the face of the most malevolent forces, the light of hope and redemption could shine the brightest. Nestled at the edge of town, the Weatherby Mansion stood as a dark, foreboding figure against the night sky. The mansion had long been abandoned, its crumbling facade a testament to years of neglect. Locals whispered that the mansion was haunted, and few dared to approach it, especially after dark. Lucy Harrison, a paranormal investigator known for her fearlessness, had heard tales of the Weatherby Mansion for years. She was determined to uncover the truth behind the rumors of haunting, and so, on a chilling October evening, she made her way to the mansion, armed with her equipment and an unyielding curiosity. Lucy delved into the mansion's history, discovering that it had been the residence of the enigmatic Weatherby family, known for their wealth and peculiar obsessions with the supernatural. The mansion was shrouded in mystery, and many believed that the spirits of the Weatherby family still roamed its halls. The stories surrounding the mansion included unexplained sounds, eerie whispers, and ghostly apparitions. Locals claimed that the mansion was cursed, its malevolent spirits seeking retribution for a dark secret that lay buried within its walls. Lucy arrived at the Weatherby Mansion on a moonless night, her equipment ready to capture any evidence of the supernatural. She felt an eerie chill in the air as she approached the crumbling entrance. The mansion loomed over her, its dilapidated exterior casting ominous shadows. Inside, Lucy's footsteps echoed through the decaying hallways. The air was heavy with a suffocating silence, broken only by the faint sounds of creaking wood and distant whispers. She felt an undeniable presence, as though the very walls held secrets waiting to be unveiled. As Lucy explored the mansion, her equipment captured unexplained phenomena, disembodied voices, spectral apparitions, and chilling temperatures. It was clear that the mansion held restless spirits, each with a story to tell. She encountered the ghost of Eleanor Weatherby, a woman who had died under mysterious circumstances. Eleanor's spirit implored Lucy to uncover the truth of her death, revealing that a malevolent entity held her soul captive within the mansion. The malevolent entity that haunted the Weatherby mansion revealed itself to Lucy. It was a shadowy presence, one that fed on fear and despair, trapping the souls of the deceased within its grasp. It had grown stronger over the years, and now it sought to claim Lucy's soul as well. As the malevolent entity tormented her with nightmarish visions, Lucy realized that she was in a battle not only to uncover the truth of Eleanor's death, but also to free the mansion from the entity's grip. She understood that the malevolent force had been the source of the mansion's haunting for decades. Determined to confront the malevolent entity, Lucy enlisted the help of fellow paranormal investigators and experts in the supernatural. Together, they initiated a daring ritual to challenge the entity and force it to reveal its true name. In a chilling showdown, the group confronted the malevolent entity, which assumed grotesque and nightmarish forms to intimidate them. However, their unwavering determination and the power of the ritual began to weaken the entity's hold. The malevolent entity writhed in agony as it was forced to reveal its true name, Belial. With this knowledge, the group recited the ancient banishment ritual, casting Belial back into the supernatural realm from which it had emerged. A blinding burst of light marked Belial's banishment, and the mansion began to shudder and tremble. It seemed that the entity's presence was finally dispelled, and the mansion was freed from its malevolent influence. Lucy left the Weatherby mansion behind, forever marked by her harrowing experience. She understood that the world of the supernatural held endless mysteries and malevolent forces that could never be fully explained. Her journey had transformed her into a protector of the balance between the living and the departed, a guardian of the innocent, and a champion of justice. The memories of the Weatherby mansion would forever remind her of the enduring power of courage and determination in the face of the supernatural. As she continued her career as a paranormal investigator, Lucy knew that the malevolent forces of the supernatural world were always lurking in the shadows, waiting for the moment to emerge once more. She remained vigilant, always ready to confront the darkness with unwavering courage and determination. Years passed, and Lucy's reputation as a paranormal investigator continued to grow. She was known for her fearlessness and her unyielding determination to uncover the mysteries of the supernatural world. However, the memory of the malevolent entity that had haunted the Weatherby mansion still haunted her, serving as a constant reminder of the darkness that lurked in the unknown. One day, Lucy received a mysterious letter from an anonymous sender. The letter spoke of a haunting in a remote village nestled deep in the woods, where the shadows whispered and the locals lived in constant fear. Intrigued by the cryptic message, Lucy set out on a new adventure, ready to confront the unknown once again. Lucy arrived at the remote village known as Ravenswood, a place shrouded in an unsettling darkness. The villagers lived in constant fear, their eyes haunted by the malevolent spirits that seemed to roam the streets. They spoke of whispers that echoed through the night, of apparitions that appeared in the shadows, and of the ever-present feeling of being watched. As she delved deeper into the village's history, Lucy discovered a dark secret. The village had been founded by a cult known as the Keepers of the Shadows, who had dabbled in dark rituals and conjured malevolent entities that now tormented the villagers. The cult had disappeared into the shadows, leaving the village cursed. Lucy's investigation took her to the heart of the village, where the ominous presence of the malevolent spirits was most potent. She set up her equipment and prepared to confront the malevolent entities that tormented the villagers. As night fell, the village was engulfed in darkness, and the shadows seemed to come alive. Lucy's equipment captured eerie whispers, spectral apparitions, and the sense of an impending doom that hung heavy in the air. Lucy's encounters with the malevolent entities grew more intense with each passing night. She discovered that the Keepers of the Shadows had summoned a powerful entity known as the Shadow Master, a being of darkness that controlled the malevolent spirits and preyed on the villagers' fears. The villagers' souls were in torment, and Lucy understood that she needed to confront the Shadow Master to break the curse that bound the village. The malevolent entity seemed to take pleasure in tormenting her, using her own fears and regrets against her. In a climactic showdown, Lucy and her team confronted the Shadow Master in a surreal and nightmarish realm that defied reality. The entity assumed monstrous forms and manipulated the very fabric of their surroundings to intimidate them. As the malevolent entity hurled nightmarish visions and dark illusions at them, Lucy and her team refused to back down. With the power of ancient rituals and their unwavering determination, they challenged the Shadow Master, forcing it to reveal its true name. The Shadow Master, writhing in agony, was forced to reveal its true name, Nycteros. With this knowledge, Lucy and her team recited the ancient banishment ritual, casting Nycteros back into the supernatural realm from which it had emerged. A blinding burst of light marked Nycteros' banishment, and the village of Ravenswood began to change. The shadows that had once whispered malevolence were replaced with a sense of calm. The villagers' eyes no longer held fear, and they began to rebuild their lives. Lucy left Ravenswood behind, forever marked by her harrowing experience. She knew that the malevolent forces of the supernatural world were ever present, but her dedication to uncovering the truth and confronting the unknown remained unwavering. Her journey had transformed her into a guardian of the balance between the living and the departed, a protector of the innocent, and a champion of justice. The memories of Ravenswood would forever remind her of the enduring power of courage and determination in the face of the supernatural. As she continued her career as a paranormal investigator, Lucy was ready to confront the darkness that lurked in the shadows with unwavering courage and determination. Lucy's reputation as a paranormal investigator grew with each successful encounter with malevolent entities. She received numerous letters from people seeking her help in confronting the supernatural. One particular letter stood out, arriving from a small coastal town named Serenity Bay. The letter spoke of a haunting that had plagued the town for centuries, a malevolent spirit known as the Whispering Wraith. This entity was said to be responsible for the disappearance of countless townspeople over the years, leaving behind nothing but whispers in the night. Lucy couldn't resist the call of the unknown, and so she packed her equipment and made her way to Serenity Bay, where she would face her most challenging and terrifying investigation yet. Upon arriving in Serenity Bay, Lucy could sense the oppressive atmosphere that hung over the town. The locals spoke of eerie whispers that filled the night, of shadows that danced in the moonlight, and of the insatiable hunger of the Whispering Wraith. Lucy's investigation revealed that the malevolent entity was tied to the town's dark history, dating back to the days of early settlers. It seemed that the Whispering Wraith had been a malevolent presence for centuries, seeking to claim the souls of those who dared to enter the town. Determined to confront the Whispering Wraith, Lucy delved into the town's history, seeking to uncover the secrets that bound the malevolent entity to Serenity Bay. She discovered that the town had been founded by a group of settlers who had invoked dark rituals to ensure their survival in the harsh, untamed land. The settlers had summoned a Whispering Wraith, thinking it would grant them power and protection. Instead, it had become a malevolent force, an insatiable entity that tormented the town for generations. Lucy's encounters with the Whispering Wraith were relentless and terrifying. The malevolent entity sought to use her fears and regrets against her, manifesting nightmarish visions and harrowing apparitions. The town itself seemed to conspire against her, its streets shifting and warping, leading her deeper into the heart of darkness. The malevolent entity whispered its promises of despair, testing her resolve and determination. In a climactic showdown, Lucy confronted the Whispering Wraith in a surreal and chilling realm where reality itself twisted and distorted. The entity took on monstrous forms, manipulating her surroundings to intimidate her. Lucy and her team, undeterred by the malevolent entity's torment, recited an ancient banishment ritual, forcing the whispering wraith to reveal its true name, Moros. With its name revealed, they banished the entity back to the supernatural realm from which it had originated. A blinding burst of light marked Moros' banishment, and Serenity Bay began to change. The whispers that had haunted the town for centuries fell silent, and the oppressive atmosphere lifted. Lucy left Serenity Bay behind, forever marked by her most harrowing experience. She knew that the malevolent forces of the supernatural world were a constant presence, but her dedication to uncovering the truth and confronting the unknown remained steadfast. Her journey had transformed her into a guardian of the balance between the living and the departed, a protector of the innocent, and a champion of justice. The memories of Serenity Bay served as a reminder of the enduring power of courage and determination in the face of the supernatural. As she continued her career as a paranormal investigator, Lucy was ready to confront the darkness that lurked in the shadows with unwavering courage and determination. Lucy's reputation as a fearless paranormal investigator grew even more widespread. She had encountered and banished malevolent entities that most would never dare to confront. One day, while sifting through her mail, she discovered a cryptic letter that bore no return address. The letter spoke of a riddle, a challenge that had stumped countless investigators before her. It told of a place known as the Enigma Manor, a sprawling mansion known for its intricate mazes, unexplainable phenomena, and a malevolent spirit that haunted its halls. Intrigued by the riddle and the promise of a worthy challenge, Lucy embarked on a new quest, eager to confront the enigmatic malevolent force that had eluded so many. The Enigma Manor was a labyrinth of secrets, its architecture defying reason and logic. The mansion had been abandoned for decades, with its halls filled with unsolved mysteries and the whispers of the past. Lucy's investigation revealed that the malevolent spirit haunting the manor was a guardian of its secrets, a force that prevented anyone from unraveling the enigma within. The entity had trapped the souls of previous investigators within the mansion, warning all others to stay away. Lucy entered the Enigma Manor, her footsteps echoing through the twisting hallways. She was armed with her equipment, ready to confront the malevolent entity and solve the riddles that lay hidden within. As she delved deeper into the mansion, the very walls seemed to shift and change, leading her into mazes of darkness. Unexplainable phenomena plagued her journey, and eerie whispers filled the air. The malevolent spirit sought to confuse and disorient her, making her question her every step. Lucy's encounters with the malevolent entity grew more challenging with each passing hour. The spirit manifested as a malevolent presence that warped the very reality of the mansion, creating impossible rooms and twisting corridors. The entity whispered riddles that were impossible to solve, driving her to the brink of madness. It seemed that the mansion itself was a part of the malevolent force's malevolent game. Lucy and her team reached a climactic showdown with the malevolent entity within the heart of the Enigma Manor. The very fabric of reality warped around them, making it a battle of wits and determination. The entity tormented her with enigmatic riddles, challenging her to solve the unsolvable. Lucy and her team, undeterred by the malevolent force's taunts, refused to give in to despair. With the power of their unwavering resolve, they solved the riddles one by one, unraveling the malevolent entity's grip on the mansion. As Lucy and her team solved the final riddle, the malevolent entity was forced to reveal its true name, Orpheon. With this knowledge, they recited an ancient banishment ritual, casting Orpheon back into the supernatural realm from which it had emerged. A blinding burst of light marked Orpheon's banishment, and the Enigma Manor began to change. The labyrinthine hallways transformed into a comprehensible structure, and the lost souls of previous investigators were released from their torment. Lucy left the Enigma Manor behind, forever marked by her most challenging and mysterious investigation. The malevolent entity had proven to be a formidable foe, but her unwavering determination and the power of her team's unity had prevailed. Her journey had transformed her into a guardian of the balance between the living and the departed, a protector of the innocent, and a champion of justice. The memories of the Enigma Manor served as a reminder of the enduring power of courage and determination in the face of the supernatural. As she continued her career as a paranormal investigator, Lucy was ready to confront any darkness that lurked in the shadows with unwavering courage and determination.